everyone, and welcome back to Star Seeds and Patriots of Down Under. And as promised, I said that I would do a video in relation to the Dyson spheres being detected, and indeed here I am with that video. I think it's very important to note that this has been covered recently also by others throughout the disclosure community, so let's pay homage and respect to those first that have covered this particular subject matter and topic. First of all, Dr. Michael Salla, thank you for all that you've done in relation to covering this topic. To David Grush as well, talking about UAPs in front of the Congress, the Committee for UAPs in front of Congress, and other whistleblowers respectively as well. Not David Grush talking about Dyson spheres as such, but his involvement with programs and his knowledge of extraterrestrials and their existence and technology. But the Dyson sphere itself has been a long debated subject throughout scientific communities itself. Now, I'd like to bring to everyone's attention this gentleman here, Mr. Freeman Dyson, who came up with the Dyson sphere idea and postulation theory of Dyson spheres back in the 1960s, I believe it was, or 50s. Okay, and this is Mr. Dyson here, Mr. Freeman here, Dyson Freeman, here just prior to his departure from this beautiful planet. Bless you, sir, for giving us this information, and may your soul ascend and soar amongst the universe. But what he basically gave us was this book as well, filled with information on his life's work in disturbing the universe as such, author of Disturbing the Universe. And this book is called Infinite in All Directions. Now, it's absolutely an immense book. I can't recommend it enough for anyone to read. I've read it myself. Okay, and it's absolutely immense, filled with information. It makes you dare to dream that Type 2 civilizations are able to build fundamentally with elements that aren't even on our periodic table, that can be harvested and made in a way that can harness a star, be built around it, harness the star from its heat. In other words, you'll have to have very high magnetic fields to contain it. Okay, and it's just it's unfathomable, incomprehensible to think on that scale that they have the ability to build like that. But this book outlines clearly how this is a possibility. Okay. Now, today I would like to present, well, first of all, show you this photo here. Okay, this is the photo from the independent news report that was shown by News Nation, only just on, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Okay, and it shows clearly that infrared signatures have been detected of large mass objects that are in the shape of a sphere, Dyson spheres. Now, as an example, I'm just going to show you another example of another news report that was by Tech Explorers, saying scientists spot 7 stars that may be part of alien megastructures called Dyson spheres. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what an exact Dyson sphere is, well, first of all, if we think back to Big Bang Theory, I know that all of us are a little bit of a fan of Big Bang Theory. Not the people themselves, but the humour and the comedy that's within it is quite funny itself. But they do touch base on quite a lot of quantum physics, and that's what I'm there for, to learn. I go and actually have a listen to it, and then I go and cross-reference it and see if they're talking truth or not. And quite a lot of it is based on true quantum physics. And in one episode, there's a particular scene where there's a Dyson sphere, and I think Sheldon playing with it. It's just expanding, contracting, expanding and contracting. Okay, expanding and contracting. Sorry if my hands weren't visible then. I do apologise then, everyone. Okay, sorry, actually my glasses are reflecting a little bit. I might have to get some anti-reflective coating put on there. I do apologise. But yeah, you can remember that scene where you can see the Dyson sphere. Well, that's exactly what a Dyson sphere is when it's expanded. Okay, and what we see when it's expanded is pretty much something like this. Not exactly the same as what Sheldon had, because it was built with mechanical parts in order to expand. But when you build a containment field of rings, concentric rings, around a star at a certain distance that are made of a certain material alloy that is capable of holding a magnetic field and also the heat from, let's say that's even truth as well. Let's say that's not truth. What if there is no heat? Because this is cold fusion, remember. Okay. What if there's no real heat coming off the stars themselves, and the actual heat is actually created by the transference of protons and electrons heating up our atmosphere, creating, the heat that we feel on our planet? It's quite a good possibility. Not just protons and electrons, but other elements as well. You get where I'm coming from. But yes, stars themselves would have to be contained in a very highly contained field that would have magnetic fields inside that was also able to be capable of withstanding such heat, if there is such a thing coming off these things. Okay? But I do believe there is no real heat coming off stars themselves. I do believe the heat itself is made through the transference of different elements through our atmosphere. Here's another example of a Dyson sphere around a star. This, when you think about it as well, it kind of postulates the whole inner Earth theory as well, where they've described that there is a central sun, if you will, in the center of the Earth. Something that we described and read avidly with work that I got to read to all of you, the viewers, during the book called Genesis for the Space Race, and by John B. Leith. When I got to read that book to you, we covered how when upon the arrival of Admiral Byrd being received to the inner Earth realm and flying through, they described that no matter which way that you were standing, not only in the corridor going down to the actual inner Earth core, where it's supposed to be completely inhabited, you were always perpendicular, upright, the right way. Okay, so everywhere you stand on the inside of the Earth's core, on the landmass that's in there that was described, that we've talked about, you're actually standing upright. And there is a central sun in the center that was described to the reader, that we all got to read about, that was described perfectly. And what if these particular Dyson spheres themselves give credence to the whole idea of inner Earth? And what if that then postulates the whole idea that our planet itself is a Dyson sphere? What if? I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying what if. What if our planet is actually built by a type 2 civilization? We always have to ask the questions, and poke at the possibilities, okay, that these things quite could be a possibility here. Now, another form of Dyson sphere is this one here. Concentric rings again on the outside. And again, harnessing a star. And as you can see on this one as well, this one has two polar openings. This one is very representatory of what we would consider the inner Earth theory, with the openings at each end of the polar ends of the Earth, north and south, with a star in the center. And no matter which way you stand on the inside of this, you are perpendicular upright. Fascinating, isn't it? Another example of a Dyson sphere. I went and just looked up Dyson spheres and just had a look at different examples of these, so I can bring you screenshots of these and show you different examples of how different type 2 civilizations could build different types of Dyson spheres around a sun and harness its core as a core. Could even be used as a fuel source now to run the ship itself. Very much like how the Death Star itself has its own power generator, which they use kyber crystals, etc. Not so much kyber crystals. Kyber crystals are more so the weapon that's in the Death Star, but I'm sure that the Death Star itself has an energy source, a free energy source of some sort for anti-gravity, especially. That would be a 0-point module of some sort. Here we have an infrared photo of a spherical object that was captured near the sun. Here's a closer photo of this. As you can see it being pointed to by this arrow here. Very close in proximity to the sun. Now, according to science, on our periodic table, we're not supposed to have anything that's supposed to be able to withstand the heats and temperatures that are coming off the sun, let alone the solar coronal mass ejections that could potentially damage whatever's near this in close proximity. That would suggest then that these things have not only particular metals that are being used to make these things, but also have inertial dampeners and shielding created by inertial dampeners are shielding, essentially, which stop you from feeling any form of gravity, for one, but the electromagnetic field that's being generated from the ship itself, the anti-gravity electromagnetic field generator, would actually provide shielding around the outside of this. And they can expand these fields depending on the frequency that they add to it, giving it more shielding and a larger perimeter of shielding around the object that's inside contained, thus making them inert from being harmed from any of these supposedly potential harmful coronal mass ejections that are supposed to be hot. Oh my God. But if that's the case, they'd be ejecting hot lava out into space, and after rapidly cooling in the depths of cold space, we'd be creating constant asteroids that would be bombarding our planet. I don't think this is the case. It's logical. It's logical to think that this is, because coronal mass ejections, if this is a hot, fiery sun and it's spewing out some form of plasmic energy that's like very similar to lava, if there is a cooling process, there'd be massive asteroids around us, and we wouldn't even probably be around to know about this. Not that the sun would. You get where I'm coming from anyway, everyone. So as I showed you, Mr. Dyson Freeman, it's the gentleman here that gave us Dyson spheres through his postulation of theory. And I do recommend, again, this book, The Infinite in All Directions, by Mr. Freeman J. Dyson. Please go and read it. You can look it up online. I'll see if there's a PDA that you can link on and leave a link in the description so you can go and read it for yourselves. And it'll be very interesting, I'm saying, to say the least. Okay, now what I'd like to do, everyone, is bring to the stage a video that was done just recently with Ross Coulthart, who we all know, who's been doing a fantastic job. I must remind the audience that Ross has been doing a fantastic job with disclosing the truth and bringing what has been secret and suppressed to the forefront, and also interviewing people like David Grush as well. I think he's done a fantastic job with considering the position he's in, and but he has a very good reach online and can get to the masses in a far greater way to the people like myself. But in saying that, he's seeding the mind publicly right now for disclosure, because really at the end of the day, I have to completely concur and agree with Dr. Salo and his conclusions that catastrophic disclosure is going to happen one way or another. Okay, that cannot stop what can't be stopped. Nothing can stop what is coming. Let's just say that. But I'm going to bring to this stage right now this video, quick, small news report that Ross Coulthart did on News Nation, an independent news report agency in the US. So please, without further ado, everyone, enjoy. Okay, I'll just get this up for you. Oh, I've been talking the whole time with my mic off. I was just, oh my gosh. Apologies, everyone. I didn't even realize my mic was off then. It didn't kick back in. Someone's playing silly buggers with my settings. It should have kicked back in as soon as that video finished. What I was saying was this video just done by Ross Coulthart and this independent news agency, News Nation Now, independent news reporter in the US, is a good report. Okay, but we also have to be reminded as well as that considering who Ross is working for, as much as he has had connections with other groups in the past, he is doing a fantastic job doing what he's doing and seeding the minds of the public for this disclosure that is coming and the possibility of alien extraterrestrial, I won't say alien, ET life, because it is extraterrestrial. We are the terrestrials here. These are non-terrestrials, ETs, extra from elsewhere. But Ross does still go by the whole notion of NASA's postulation of how the planet was formed, and possibly under the Darwinism theory as well. And we need to be reminded of the fact that there's more to this than what we've been told. Remember, and history goes back far further than what we've been taught. And really, at the end of the day, things might not be exactly as they seem. We must look at all the possibilities here and poke a stick at them. Because what if our planet was a Dyson sphere that was specifically created as a planetary ark, if you will, not just for us as a species, but for many different groups of civilizations living here secretly inside the Earth, inside mountains, everywhere that's unpopulated, away from mankind, leaving themselves completely untouched by Western civilization, just getting along and doing their own thing for thousands of years, up in the Himalayas, Nepal, Tibet, in the mountains, in the old tunnels that have existed for tens of thousands of years up there. They could be everywhere. But what if this planet was designed and actually put together? Well, that would also lead into then Jock Doubleday and his information and research that he's been able to put forth then. What if the Earth is a constructed platform, biosphere? It is a possibility, because Jock Doubleday, and I do recommend his work, go over and have a look at it, because it is quite plausible what he's putting forth. I do recommend having a look at it, because really we have to look at all the angles and look at all the possibilities and how this could be. We also know that Stitchin, for example, Zachariah Stitchin, when he gave his translations of the tablets, he gave an inaccurate description of what Nibiru was. Okay, Nibiru was supposed to be this planet that's supposed to be on an elliptical orbit of, I think, 13,000 years or something like that. Okay, outside of the normal orbits of normal planets, and every time it comes through, apparently it causes havoc and destruction as it comes through in our solar system and disrupts the magnetic fields and orbits of all other planets and is the destructor. Okay, well, that is an accurate description and translation. I believe personally from my own research that Zachariah Stitchin was a paid shill. Personally, excuse me, due to the fact that the translations that he gives are inaccurate, due to the fact that I've looked at the whole translation of the Sumerian cuneiform library, which is over 30,000 tablets, and when it translates to English, the Moorhan collection, it's like anything that you can possibly imagine. Nibiru is not a destroyer, a planet. Okay? It doesn't have these horned wings that come around it or whatever. Okay? That most have tried to show us as a planet that is coming through. Nibiru is a ship. It is the hailing of the return of Enki, Prince Ea. Okay? That is the truth of it. The Nibiru is a planetary spherical ship. It is a spherical ship in the shape of a planet. And it's larger than Earth. Very much. But if you have the ability to travel from solar system to solar system, interstellar travel as well, it makes sense to make something around a star to harness such power cold fusion power, if stars are cold fusion, and using that as a means to utilize as a harnessed power source to power your ship, to give electricity, free energy, warmth, everything. It makes sense that you would utilize such a thing. And because it's got such gravity, such strong gravity, strong magnetic fields containing such a star, you can move it out of its present orbit in any way you want, because it's your propulsion that's creating the magnetic field around your planet, the spherical object that you're traveling in. Stitchin was a paid shill by the deep state to give a mistranslation. The Moorhan collection remained in the Rothschilds' personal collection up until 2012, 2013, I believe it was. And since 2013, all 30,000 tablets have been translated now to English. And when you read it, it's like modern science, or not modern science fiction, more than science fiction. It is epic. And it gives avid descriptions of the Nibiru through the translations. And it is a ship, Prince Ea's ship, Enki's ship. And there's mentioning of transfers of gold from Earth to the moon, to Mars, to the Nibiru ship itself. Yeah, it's all written down. It reads like science fiction and more. It's perfectly beautiful. And this is the reason why the Rothschilds kept them in their personal family collection up until 2013, because we all know those guys are gone. Okay. We all know that. And so since then, we can now be able to have an accurate translation of the tablets, and you can go listen to them. I'll leave a link in the description for everyone as well, to go over to a channel by the name of Bo's Mysteries, which is a channel directly has put together a direct line of videos that have a translation from Sumerian cuneiform to English for you to enjoy and listen whilst looking at some of the most beautiful scenery from the Middle East and all of Africa and all of Sudan and Yemen and Arabia and all of the beautiful places that we know throughout, which we know as being a modern day Iraq, which is modern ancient Samaria, Mesopotamia. All of these beautiful, Nippur, Uruk, and all of these areas are modern day places today, but the photography and cinematography that's put together whilst listening to these places, you connect and resonate on a soul level. You feel that you know at some stage in your ancient past, in your past lifetimes, that you have lived there, because you look at the scenery and you can't help but feel in love with the place because you know that you've lived there before. You feel in love with the place and connected with it like you've lived there. And I know I do. Because I've gone on record and said that I have past life in Eridu. I have memory of this. Okay, and I've also had confirmation of this through the lovely emissary to our planet, the beautiful, awesome Elena Danan. She's absolutely wonderful. When you get that validation, it really makes you realize that you haven't gone nuts over all of this stuff, and the time spent researching and going back over your lifetime and looking at all the valuable points of getting your story and journey and experiences in a sequence and timeline of events from beginning to end, where we are now, where I am now. It was very important to me, and having those validations at one stage come along, which I was not owed. As I said previously before, she owes no one anything. I was just very, very privileged at the time to be able to receive such validations, and I feel honored by that, and I'm grateful for it. But to get those acknowledgements and validations certainly gives credence more to my story, especially when I've also gone on record with it and have sung about such individuals that lived in Sumer when I was 5 years old playing in my sandpit. What 5-year-old knows of names that haven't existed on the planet for over 450,000 years? Yeah, it suggests that you have a lifetime there in the past. All right. Anyway, and getting on with it, everyone, I don't want to waffle on for too much longer. It's only a short video. I would like to play for you now another quick video, just to kind of have a bit of humour, a bit of laughter. But it's a reminder of how planets can be built, okay, but on a humorous scale. Okay, this is a scene and a small video excerpt from the movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And if any of you have seen the movie, I'm sure you will know what I'm talking about. The scene where they're building planets in their factory floor, Earth 2.0 or Earth number 2. And this is really humorous, to say the least, because it's kind of taken the mickey out of science and technology and how planets can be actually possibly built through Dyson spheres. But what you clearly see in a couple of scenes are Dyson spheres around planets, and they're actually clearly building around suns. So in saying that, everyone, I'll pass this over. I'm going to remove my
Did you know we built planets? Oh, yes. Fascinating trade. Doing the coastlines was always my favorite. And we used to have endless fun doing the little fiddly bits around fields. But then the galactic economy collapsed, and seeing that custom-built planets are a bit of a luxury commodity. Anyway, you must come with me because there's been a terrible mix-up with your planet.
see the cube
Best laid
planet.
plans of mice, you know.
Custom planets, everyone.
And then...
What? Best laid plans of mice and men.
Yes, well, I don't think men have got much to do with it.
Here.
It's like the old haunted house train rides.
I must warn you, we're going to pass through, well, a sort of gateway thing. It may disturb him. It scares the willies out of me.
Here we go, everyone. Prepare to be dazzled. Just remember, everyone, this is just Hollywood as well. But there's always a little bit of truth in plain sight, everyone. Look at the surface of a planet. There you go. All the planets around them.
Welcome to our factory floor.
Take notice. One of these planets are being built around the sun. See?
There you are. Look familiar?
So, it wasn't destroyed?
Actually, it was. This is a backup. Earth Mark II.
So you made the Earth?
Not me alone, but I did my part.
Beautiful.
Ever heard of a place? I think it's called Norway. That was one of mine. I got an award for it.
that fantastic? I mean, it's taken the mickey, of course, out of the possibilities of Dyson spheres, etc., being in a funny, humorous movie. But you got to look at it. There's a bit of truth in plain sight there, eh? What if Type 2 civilizations are possibly able to build Dyson spheres? Yeah, many apologies for that again, everyone, for that slight muck up just there. Something's definitely playing silly buggers with my system, so I'll definitely go in and do a recalibration and have a look through that, because that's not supposed to be happening. And I'll go through my settings with my StreamYard here and iron those little bugs out, because that's not quite right. But many apologies again to you, everyone, because that was all lined up, ready to go, and wasn't there, even though I had to re-add it to the stage. So apologies, sincerely. But thank you for joining me on this one. It's been definitely a good little experience being able to show you the possibilities of Dyson spheres being detected. As it's mentioned, there is the possibility that life will be mentioned next, as previously mentioned by Dr. Sala in his videos. I do believe this is all part and parcel of the plan that was given out to General Glenn Van Herk of NORAD back in 2022, I believe it was, or 2021. Might have been 2022. Yeah, I believe it was, at Mount Ravenrock. And I do believe this is all part of the rollout of how this is going to unfold, and then potentially end up becoming snowball effect to the point where we have catastrophic disclosure as such. Now, when I say catastrophic disclosure, for those of you who haven't been following this particular word syntax being used around this subject matter, means basically it has to go a certain way outside of Congress's control in order to get to our future and our Star Trek type future a lot quicker than what we have been, because really what I consider to be the 100-year timeline of disclosure by the Rockefeller-Clinton initiative is not acceptable. They still plan on drip feeding this for the next 100 years, whereas they're already within our space navy and secret space program well within 50 to probably even 100 or more years ahead in technology already. What we're getting basically here in the public domain is basically what I would consider to be leftovers of predecessor models. And as they're progressing forward, I mean, just look at the iPad alone. The iPad is a predecessor model to what we call smart glass pads in the SSP, okay, that look exactly like transparent aluminum pads that are around about so long. You hold them in the palm of your hand, and we also have transparent aluminum so-called phones that run on Android and Apple so-called operating systems. I've shown those in previous videos. These were just renderings of the possibilities of what these will look like. Of course, not the actual photos of these particular smart glass products, but you can look at it. All these things are derivatives that have come from predecessor models from the SSP. Pretty easy to look at, eh? But yeah, it's interesting to say the least. We have a lot to look at, a lot to stab, a lot unfolding and unpacking. It's going to be unpacking very quickly, more and more now, especially as you all know. I won't cover this, but Julian Assange, as you all know, is free and back home in Australia. And I can imagine only now the backup, what I would consider contingency plans that have been put together within the White Hats, and those that he has been closely working with for years, mind you. Okay. And also I would like to remind everyone of his connection to John G. Trump. Yeah, John G. Trump, which is Donald Trump's uncle, as we all know. Anyway, won't go on about it. But I believe that the avalanche of information is about to be a tsunami. And it's not by Julian's hand either, by those that he has released, those that have his information. And I believe that things are going to get very hectic. Now that he's released, I believe, not only those that have his backup information, but also the military will quite quickly make moves that'll start making things move along and roll along before the general election in the US roll out. I think that everything is going to start coming into play very quickly, and it's just best to be staying vigilant right now. But also remain on topic, stay in heart space, of course, stay in your vibration and frequency, look at all the information, have a look at this stuff about Dyson spheres, go research it for yourself, go look at the book, that I just showed up for you before. This book here, The Infinite in All Directions by Freeman Dyson. Okay, and go and have a read of that. And I'll go look for the PDA for that, and I'll leave it online in the description below for you all to have a look at it. Okay, but in saying that, everyone, I want to say thank you again for joining me here at Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under. It's been a pleasure being with you. Just remember to, as well, if you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, just hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you hit that notification bell as well. And just to give any of our videos a bit of a like or a share will just help the videos themselves get out past the YouTube algorithms to a wider audience and help expand and grow our Starseeds and Patriots Down Under family. So in saying that, everyone, thank you again. Hope to see you all again soon. Look out for my next video coming. Love you all. Take care until then. It's Chris signing out.